And ladies and gentlemen, we're reaching slowly the end of our conference. I've moderated a few conferences. I don't think I've ever been as on time as this, so we're literally very close to the planned time that we had. But in order to end the conference, we're going to be joined by two speakers to provide the closing remarks for the conference. So I will be firstly inviting Dr. Tome Antičić, the State Secretary at the Croatian Ministry of Science and Education, to provide a few words, and then finally Antoaneta Angelova-Krasteva from the European Commission's DG Education and Culture, who is Director for Innovation and International Cooperation and Sport. So if I could kindly ask Dr. Tome Antičić to provide his closing remarks for the conference. The floor is yours.
Hello, good afternoon. So at the end of the day, a very long day, and it's Friday, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate all the speakers today for a very fruitful discussion and all the participants for interesting questions that we received during the conference. Hope we managed to answer most of them in an adequate manner. The aim of the Presidency's MSCA conference was to encourage the discussion on how to improve researchers' careers, facilitate brain circulation. I think that we all agreed today that although the talents are equally distributed, our researchers have unequal opportunities in Europe. Adding to this is the existing fragmentation of national research systems and inadequacies of national research systems of some countries, complemented by the brain drain, be it brain drain to other EU member states or brain drain to countries outside the EU. We feel that it is important for the EU to move towards finding solutions that enable a fair and balanced brain circulation across the EU, as well as to attract and retain talents. The current pandemic and the ensuing situation showed us all the importance of robust and efficient research systems. As Commissioner Gabriel has emphasized, we need to increase our effort to support our researchers in the fight against the pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic, in fact, demonstrated the power of working together and the all-encompassing importance of mobilizing the full potential of our research communities. MSCA presents a great tool in achieving this, not just in terms of new studies, but in terms of real experience for our researchers achieving true mobility. The results of our poll during the conference, in fact, strongly support this view. MSCA is a bottom-up in all areas of science for everyone. Our keynote speaker, Vivo Jelic, illustrated this perfectly as an example of the full circle of mobility, including ingoing and outgoing aspects of it. Throughout today's discussion, within each of the 4 panel discussions, we had the opportunity to hear some valuable and interesting conclusions. As Christine Kraft has told us, brain circulation is not an option. It is a crucial, absolutely crucial condition for excellent research. Mobility is included in criteria for scientific advancement in many national systems. I'm very happy that we have included that also in our new higher education law, which is in the process of hopeful adoption. What we learned today is that there is a need for additional measures to continue attracting, rewarding, and retaining talent in the EU on a global scale. We are all aware that there is a need to adjust national policies to facilitate and encourage mobility of researchers, the need for removing administrative and legal barriers and incentivize transnational mobility, which will all create a friendlier environment for researchers as well as their families. Then there are the questions that were raised by Dr. Caroline Hornstein-Tomic. There is a need to improve the social and economic conditions from social security to immigration policy. And we have to reframe the question of brain circulation in the new pandemic conditions, since it greatly influences the potential for mobility. We are very happy to see that the new MSCA program, in fact, within Horizon Europe, is building upon a strong international dimension and reinforcing its intersectoral and interdisciplinary character. We welcome the new measures to address barriers to stronger cross-sectional mobility and cooperation. We are especially interested in the results of an analysis of the brain drain that Claire Morel announced and are looking forward to the proposed solutions. But there is also a need to accelerate things at the EU level. I'm therefore very happy to hear that the Commission has put an emphasis on brain circulation in the new European Research Area narrative, and that the Charter and Code for Researchers is under revision. This is very great news indeed. But we need to push things even more forward and even faster. For example, there is a need to simplify the rules using structural funds to create better synergies between different EU programs. On this, we have no time to lose, and the right time is in fact now. In order to successfully face the future challenges, we need to push forward the intersectoral and interdisciplinary approach in research, thusly enabling researchers to gain skills that will be important for the future careers in and out of academia. The established clusters of excellence create difficulties for balanced participation of all member states. It is thus crucial in the long term to decrease the gap between higher and lower performing countries in terms of attractiveness for researchers. Of course, by raising the quality and excellence of the lower performing countries. To conclude, widening participation in the Union's framework programs is a shared responsibility of both national and EU levels, and it needs to be addressed jointly, taking into account all the available possibilities for a more cohesive development. We really hope that our call for action on brain circulation will contribute to that. With that, I would like to thank once again all of you who made this conference possible, all the speakers, panelists, participants, and organizers. And although the Croatian presidency will be remembered by making online conferences a new normal, we are, in fact, the first digital presidency of the EU. I really hope to see you all in Croatia in more pleasant conditions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Antičić, for those closing remarks. And I would now like to call on Antoaneta Angelova-Krasteva from European Commission's DG Education and Culture to provide your closing remarks to the conference.
Good afternoon, everyone. Dear Mr. Antičić, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends of the MSCA, I'm really delighted to have the opportunity to address you today after a very long but very exciting, full of very interesting discussions day. Let me start by congratulating the Croatian presidency for the very successful organization of the Skłodowska-Curie Actions Presidency Conference. Despite the very challenging circumstances, you succeeded to propose a very attractive and rich program, to quickly accommodate it to an online format and to have this excellent event. Let me thank also all the speakers in the panels and all participants for their inspiring contributions to the discussions today. So it goes without saying that the topics of today's conference are highly important and they will remain so in the future. I was really happy and excited to hear about the many interesting discussions which provided useful food for thought for everyone, and in particular for the Commission, at this very moment when we are preparing the first work program of the Skłodowska-Curie Actions under Horizon Europe. It was interesting also to learn about the various views of how the Skłodowska-Curie Actions help ensure attractiveness in the global race of talents, how to enhance participation and inclusiveness, and how to better respond to challenges that are faced by the researchers, particularly those at their early stages of the career. We have taken good note in particular of the suggestions regarding further simplification of the program, the need for better synergies between funding instruments and the importance of the internationalization, as well as the reflections about career development and the possible incentives for researchers to return to their home countries. These are only few of the many valuable contributions that were made during the day. But let me also thank the Croatian presidency for the Zagreb call for action on brain circulation. At a time when the EU is working on the recovery from the COVID-19 crisis, the call for action identifies key areas of intervention and also points to crucial issues to tackle, such as the fragmentation of the research and innovation landscape, researcher salaries and working conditions, participation and national responsibilities. Brain circulation, as one of the main priorities for the Croatian presidency, is indeed a key topic. The presentations and discussions today were a really valuable contribution to the wider debate. They confirmed that a fair and balanced brain circulation is essential for Europe, being a key component of our sustainable economic and social development, as well as of our capacity to address global challenges such as the current pandemic, as well as to deliver on major EU political priorities such as the European Green Deal and the digital transformation. The call for action is also a welcome reminder that a fair and balanced brain circulation requires joint efforts, and it can be only achieved in close partnership and cooperation with the member states. It is a complex phenomenon which requires multi-level interventions, support for reforms, actions at national level, and appropriate frameworks to manage it. The call for action is also very important when we are thinking of how to continue the future implementation of the MSCA work program. And we are particularly pleased to see that a number of strategic directions are also in line with our current and future thinking and orientations for the Marie Skłodowska-Curie actions. In that regard, let me stress that the MSCA will keep fostering a balanced brain circulation by supporting the mobility, career development and training of tens of thousands of excellent researchers in Europe and beyond, through strengthened measures under Horizon Europe. Also, for better results and greater impact, the European Commission will continue to promote stronger synergies between European programs and national and regional initiatives. For this, a good alignment with the national and regional research and innovation strategies for smart specialization is a crucial prerequisite. At the same time, and it's been underlined many times during the day, international cooperation in research and innovation is having clearly an impact at system level. It has a key role to play in countering brain drain and also turning it into brain gain. The contribution of the MSCA will remain essential in that regard in years to come. So, before concluding, I would also like to congratulate the excellent researchers who have just received the Marie Skłodowska-Curie Awards. I am impressed by the talent, by the passion and the communication skills of our researchers. And I stress this anytime when I have the opportunity to meet our Marie Skłodowska-Curie Actions Fellows. I'm sure that many of them will be the leaders of tomorrow, tackling challenges in different disciplines and sectors and training new generations of researchers. Because the need for training, career development, and mobility of researchers will always be there. I would like to thank once again all the conference participants, all speakers, and congratulate the Croatian presidency for this excellent event. Thank you very much, best wishes, and keep well.
Many thanks to Ms. Angelova-Krasteva for these closing remarks, and as well, once again, to Dr. Antičić. You both provided an excellent summary of what we discussed today. And if I may provide a summary of your summaries, I would say that today we can conclude that there is a need for a more balanced brain circulation, so which means that we need to increase in widening countries the levels of participation in research programs, the level of research performance, attractiveness as well of research systems, but without, of course, falling into the trap of brain drain. And at the level of individual researchers, we also need to ensure that we are ensuring them with good working environments and not just perceiving them as resources for excellence and innovation, but also as researchers who need support for their work-life balance and everyday lives. And especially if we're going to expect from them even more levels of transversal skills, interdisciplinary work and such like. I think these are excellent conclusions, and that we've shown that there are plans in the next decade of how the MSCA and other programs can really address these, as well as how national level policies and initiatives can also address them. So I think that's a good, positive way to end an extremely interesting day and a great conference. So again, thanks to everybody who participated. Thank you to all the speakers. Thank you to all of you who joined us today and who provided us with your questions. Right now you can only see me, but behind me and in the same room, there's at least 15 people who've been working all day to make sure that everything's running on time, that that everything is working. So we have a tech team and a team from the Ministry of Science and Education and from the Agency for Science and EU for EU programs. So I'd like to thank all of you as well for your work. So that's it from us. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day, and we hope to see you at our next MSCA conference. Bye-bye.